Welcome back to Clear Talk. On today's episode, we're going to talk about the importance of why you need a coach no matter what level you're at.
And then we discuss how much money you should actually be spending on ads.
And lastly, how to know what coaching program is the right fit for you. By the way, let us know in the comments down below, how much money are you spending on ads right now a day in your business? Enjoy the show. Welcome back to Clear Talk. I'm your host, Armin Shafi. This is my co-host,
Jeanette Oduro.
And this is the #1 show for entrepreneurs and coaches that need clarity in their business. They want to go to high ticket. They want to get to a high ticket mindset. They want to start closing high ticket clients. This is the show for you. If you're on Facebook right now inside of our high ticket coaching community, then say hello right now in the comments. Drop some comments down below. Show some love. Put some fire emojis. It's another Monday, another Clear Talk. And if you're on YouTube right now and you like content around how to grow your coaching business online and start charging high ticket for your programs and your worth, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that little notification bell so that you can get notified every time we release new content every single week. We release trainings for coaches and we release this episode every single week for you guys to get everything you need in order to succeed as a coach. So it was a great weekend. Jay, any crazy stuff happened over the last 2 days?
Crazy?
Your weekend?
I don't know if I would say crazy, but definitely, thought-provoking. We had the president of Think and Grow Rich, Satish Verma, who we've spoken about many times, you know, connect with some of our higher ticket students from a year ago originally...
Real high ticket clients, they stick around.
They really stuck around, but, you know...
And they had some crazy breakthroughs they're sharing.
Huge. Yeah, we haven't spoken to a lot of these guys for months, and, like... If you would have seen, you know, how they were prior to, you know, getting involved or getting interested or learning about the Think and Grow Rich philosophies and the people that they are today, the lives that they have created for themselves, like, I was just listening to everybody. I was just like, man, like, these guys they're great. They're awesome. So we spent our Saturday afternoon doing that. Yeah. You know, we had a great weekend for sales as well. The team was here working on the weekend. It was just awesome, man. It's just fun. Good stuff.
Good times. Okay, cool. So for us, I was just literally spending, some people are like, I was with my trainer this morning working out and he goes, how's your weekend? I'm like, great. I had, my whole Sunday was back-to-back elite clients of mine, my SGC elite clients.
Oh, yes.
And then I'm like, my Saturday was also working and he goes, man, you work so much. I'm like, no, I don't. Like, I like what I do. Like, do you think when you're watching a movie, you watch too many movies, like you watch too much of a movie or you hang out with friends too much or those are real things. But I'm saying when you're doing it, you're not thinking of it as work, right? Because it's fun. So I'm like, I don't feel like I'm working. Like, what else would I want to do on my Sunday? Some of you are like, I want to relax. If you have kids and family, I get it. But I'm like, some of you are like, I want to just do nothing. Whoa, this sounds boring. Why would you want to do nothing? Yeah. Right? So I just spent my whole weekend working with clients, helping them get, like, we push them ahead. It's really cool. My private clients, I love them because I get to see them, like, so quickly launch their business, and it's just so cool to watch. So it excites me. I don't know. Anyway, so that was a good weekend for me as well. Always in my purpose, working in purpose. The whole, like, half the team was here setting up for Clear Talk yesterday on a Sunday. I'm like, I'm proud, man. I'm proud to see this. So, so if you're new to the show, by the way this works is you go to askarmin.com, which will be right here on YouTube, and you can submit any questions you have around coaching you want for free from us, and we'll do our best to give you as much value as possible and help you solve those problems so you can grow your business online. And so we have a large list of questions here that we have from previous people who've asked, and so we're going to go through them one by one, do our best to give you guys as much insight as possible. And so it's good. Our business is going good. Like, we're doing 5-6 figures a month consistently. This is during pandemic, COVID, lockdown, and holidays. So any belief you had around, it's bad times to do something and build business, and no, it's not. It's your mindset. Yeah. If you believe people are buying, they will. That's how it works. So, all right, Jay, what's the first question? Let's get into it.
Okay, so our first question is, you are an exceptional public speaker. Given your expertise, what is your advice to someone who doesn't believe they need a coach to improve their public speaking? And that question comes to us from Christian Atong.
What would be Well, there's two matters there. The real question here he's asking is, and just put the question part of it. What would be?
So what is your advice to someone who doesn't believe they need a coach to improve their public speaking?
Well, it's not about if they need a coach to improve public speaking. It's about do they need a coach. The matter of not needing a coach, I don't know if you guys, like if you watch any of my previous episodes, I think I made it very evident what it's like when you think you don't need coaching or you don't need a teacher. I was actually speaking to someone the other day. I was out for dinner with them, and this person's a family member of mine. And we were just hanging out, and it dawned on me because I was looking at them, and I'm like, I feel like I think I've never heard you say that you need help with something. Like, yet your life is like not really where you want it to be. You're very unhappy. And they agreed, and I thought, I'm like, I don't know why you don't get help.
Yeah.
And then they immediately go, I don't need help. I'm like, okay, well, first of all, there's a huge ego trap everyone has to, in business, avoid, which is when you don't know what you do, and you pretend like you know.
Yeah.
Thus, you never actually get the help.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane, actually.
Yeah.
It's insanity. That's like a great way to screw your life up. You don't know what you're doing, but you're not willing to admit it, so you pretend like you know, and so therefore you never actually find out.
Yeah. It's
scary. I don't know how people do that. But this person was looking at them, I was looking at them, and they go, well, I don't need help. I'm like, well, why do you associate so much like embarrassment to like getting help or coaching? They go, because it's like, only messed up people need help. And I go, well, look at it, it's a belief, right? I'm like, look at it as not getting help, but getting a teacher. Mm-hmm. I'm like, look, if you could learn everything on your own, if you could do everything on your own, you would learn how to walk, speak English, do math all on your own. You wouldn't need to go to school, right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, how did you learn? You didn't know at first, but you got a teacher. I'm like, why would you think you don't need a teacher for learning how to solve problems in life?
Yeah.
That's the thing. There's no curriculum. Because school doesn't have a class you think on problem solving, you think there's no teacher required to problem solve. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's deep, eh?
Yeah.
You got a teacher for mathematics, English, French, right, history, because that's someone needs to teach you. You don't look at that as coaching or help, but it is. You're getting help and coaching to understand those things. But because there's no class in school as we grow up for problem solving, for thinking, for money management, for goal setting, you think there is no teacher required. Yeah. Well, if it was important, I'm going to be in school. No, it's not true at all.
Statistics and life has taught us that most of the important things in life they don't teach us in school.
Yeah, and that's just factual. That's a word.
Yeah.
Factual.
It's an actual factual.
It's actual factual. Like, and here's the reason why. Because school system. I mean, we all have heard the praises about this. School system is not teaching you how to develop a life. It's showing you how to develop a position in a company, like a career, and just fine. There's a use for that, but it's not for living life. So you think that everything you learn in school is everything you need to know.
Wow.
Oh my God, there's so much
more.
Limited. No, so much more outside of school you need to know.
Definitely.
And so anyways, I was looking at this person, I'm like, why don't you look at it as if you need a teacher? Mm-hmm. You don't know how to let go of past emotion traumas. You don't know how to move ahead in your life or set goals or figure out how to get yourself out of a slump or a rut. Don't you think you would need a teacher that teaches you how?
Yeah.
And then they actually change their thinking. They go, well, yeah, I do need a teacher. Because I don't know how.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get help. I'm like, well, teaching is help in my eyes. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So Christian, here's a great way to look at this. If you're in a business of coaching, right? And there are audiences or people that have objections like, I don't need coaching for this, right? I don't need help for this. Well, it's very simple. That's a marketing thing. Essentially, you have to learn how to teach your audience in your marketing that there are things, specific mechanics and techniques that they do not know. And then sell them the idea that they need to learn it in order to achieve their goals in that topic, in that field, so that they need you to teach them. I think the idea of coaching, this is a breakthrough I'm having as I'm talking right now. I think the idea of coaching is that people associate it with a coach is going to help them do what they already know. Isn't it?
Yeah.
That's why you don't see the use of it.
I can see that.
If I got a life coach, well, life coach is just going to ask me questions so I can just use what I already know. So why don't I just save the money and use what I know? But then again, the irony is if you knew how to use what you know, you would do it.
Yeah.
So what is the key to getting an audience to admit and really decide they need to hire you? It's not to position yourself more of a coach as opposed to an expert in something.
Yeah.
And so you coach them, like you sell a coaching program, but you're positioned as an expert.
Yeah. Yep.
And if you're positioned as an expert, your audience has to confess they do not know more about this thing than you. And if that is the case, they need to get you to teach them. That's why they will pay you. And I think, that's probably one of the sales killers, like marketing killers that people don't get, is that if you keep saying you need coaching, and we got to understand, the audience probably thinks, well, coaching is just, you're going to help me do what I already know.
Yeah.
You're just going to coach me through what I already, so let me just do it myself and save the money.
True.
And by the way, poor thinking habit, saving money. I'm not saying saving money is a poor thing. It's a poor thing to want to save money over investing it into yourself. That is a poor thing. You'd rather save $500 than pay to a coach in a session to develop yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You'd rather save $5,000 than to put it into a program where you get education on how to do something. You'd rather save $10,000 instead of putting in something to learn how to do something. And that idea that you think, and Christian, as I'm saying this, you could write notes on this and use it in your marketing so that you can reframe your audience's thinking about this so that they can understand why they need you. The idea that you think saving $1,000 or $5,000, that money in your bank account is more valuable than the growth you could personally have, means you value money more than yourself.
Yeah.
Means you're putting an overimportance on cash and putting it above your personal growth. That is astonishing to me. Astonishing.
Yeah.
Because you'd rather save some cash than grow your mind. And that only shows me how ignorant you are to the value of your own mind. That's all it shows me. So when there's an argument of like, well, I don't need a coach to get better at public speaking, for example. It's not that it's about public speaking or it's about business or it's about health or it's about mindset. It doesn't matter what it is. It's the objection is I don't need coaching.
Yeah.
You need to get very good, Christian, at using parables, examples, similes, stories, and analogies to teach your audience why that is absolutely untrue.
Yeah.
You have to use examples and analogies and stories to make them connect an analogy with how absurd it sounds that they don't need coaching. My example would be something like, I put you behind a plane. And I say, let's go for a ride. You've never done this before. Let's go for a flight. Let's go. You know what to do, right? Hit some buttons. Go watch some YouTube videos quickly before we get off the ground so you know what you're doing. How confident would a person feel behind the cockpit of a plane knowing they've never done this before? Even if I'm next to them and I know how. But I'm not teaching them, right? They'll probably be, shitting their pants. Like they don't know what they're doing. Okay. Wouldn't that be the equivalent of trying to do something you've never done? Thinking that you could just guess your way through it? See, the analogy I'm using here is that trying to fly a plane or drive a car or drive a boat or doing anything that requires skill, like you need to learn something, without an instructor or a teacher or some type of curriculum to learn is completely insane. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, you'll think that doing something like public speaking or selling or business, you don't need that.
Yeah.
Why would it be different? So you need to get good, Christian, in your marketing to explain, like you should go on Facebook Live, you should do videos, you should make posts about analogies that position your point to sound way more logical and makes more sense than them thinking the other thing.
Yeah.
That's what marketing is. Marketing is reframing people's beliefs. Marketing is making people think differently about the thing that you're selling so that they want to buy it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So I hope that answers the question. It's about, the objections are, do I need coaching? Well, did you need coaching? Did you need help? Did you need teaching when you were learning how to speak? When you were learning how to walk? When you were learning how to do things for the first time? Of course. Unless the person has public speaking experience, I can see why that objection would be like, I don't need you.
Yeah.
But now the question is, if they're really smart, they'll understand to get to the next level, there's something they don't know. Mm-hmm. But it's easier to sell those people because they already know there's something they don't know. That's how they got to the place they are now. So all you show them is that there's things that I can help you with that takes you to the next level. But if you're trying to sell to a person who's never done it and goes, well, I don't need you, I can just try it on my own.
Yeah.
You're facing the same objection every person in marketing faces when trying to sell something to somebody, especially in the coaching and expert field, because you're always convincing people to learn what you're doing. And in that case, you got to get really good at convincing your audience through analogies and stories of what it costs them to try to do it on their own. And why it sounds completely insane to try to think they could do it on their own without help. So I hope that helps. Just a marketing thing. So.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Great answer. Okay, next question. How much is too little or too much to spend on ads? That question is from Grayson L.
It completely depends. That's like saying how much is too little, too much gas to put in your car. Where are you going? If you're driving for a 1-day road trip, I could tell you measurement of what's too little. If you're trying to get to a 10-minute destination away from me, I can tell you if it's too much.
Yeah.
So question should be, I want to earn this much in sales. How much is proper amount on average to spend on advertising? That also depends what's more accurate, because we can actually go, okay, if you want to do $100,000 in sales in a month, well, you got to look at how much it costs you to get a sale. If it costs you $1,000, obviously, and you're selling a $5,000 thing, you're going to need to spend 20 grand on ads to get 20 people to buy a $5,000 thing, right? So it's a mathematical equation. But I'll give you some rough things, some rough numbers. If you're running ads to like a webinar or some type of funnel that gets book calls or sales, if you're spending less than like $100 a day, you're not doing anything. $100 a day, okay? You're not really doing anything. You're testing things. You're not. It's like, I'm not saying you can't get leads and stuff for less than $100. You can, but it's like you're not building a business that way. So up until $100 is just testing, meaning for like one ad set or one ad campaign, you're spending $20, $25. You have 4 of them. Like that's something. But if you're spending like $20 a day, $10 a day, that's not. It depends. If you have a funnel that you're growing of giving a free thing away to, that's different. But if you're trying to run ads to a funnel that gets you calls or gets you sales, spending less than $100 is useless. Like you won't see any real results yet. And then spending like over $500 a day, the game changes. Imagine like this. Imagine we're in a small pool and a small pond with small fish. And this small pond can hold up to $500 a day, up to. So everyone in this small pond is spending anywhere from $10 to $500 a day. If I spend $50 in this pond, I'm competing against the person spending $450 in that pond.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's a bigger fish. Let's say I'm spending $450 a day. Okay? And you'd be doing that because you're making money. Now you're the big fish in a small pond. Because most people in that pond are spending less than a few $100 a day. Now the moment you cross over to $500, $500 to $1,000 to $2,000, now you're playing in a bigger pond with bigger fish. So you were a big fish in a small pond, but now you're a small fish in a big pond. And so now my $500 or $600 a day is competing with the person doing $2,000 a day.
Yeah.
So as you scale a company through advertising, it becomes the game changes. It's a pipe dream to think if you figure out how to do one thing at one stage of your business, you could just literally do that times 10 and it just grows. If it was that simple, guys, everyone would become billionaires because it's just a matter of, it would literally be a matter of duplication.
Yeah.
But it's not. So too little will be under $100 a day. You won't see any actual results with that. You will see results, but not like for real. In June, we spent $4,700 in ads, so we did about $150 a day, and we did 34 grand in sales that month. But when I was spending less than $100 a day, we made almost no sales. It's not because specifically of ad spend. I'm just saying, like, I also had an ad manager. I fired her. I started doing my own stuff. I learned how to do ads better. There's a lot of things that matter. But the specific question is how much is too little or too much?
Too much, yeah.
Way too generic of a question. There are so many variables you need to ask. And if you do not have a teacher on this, oh my goodness, are you making a huge mistake? You better know. You better have someone that knows how to run ads, that is teaching you and is showing you how to do it. Because too many moving gears in the advertising machine for you to think you could just do this. It's worse than a plane.
Yeah.
Way worse than a plane. There's so many factors. From your audience, to your actual creatives, to your actual copywriting, to your actual targeting, to your actual ad spend, to your actual funnel. Like there's way too many things that are moving at the same time for you to think it's just a matter of running some ads. Yeah, 100%. Like not, and you might get some results, but you won't scale it. So I'm a part of like masterminds with millionaires that run ads, and so I learned a lot, and I realized, man, I could never do the $50,000 to $100,000 months I do with ads if I didn't know the stuff these guys are sharing. So less than $100 is child's play. More than 500, you go into a different pool. So make sure you don't do that alone. The most profitable thing you could do is educate yourself on advertising. Like educate. I mean, like buy a course on it. Get an actual expert on it that can help you with it. I think the stupidest thing you could do in the beginning of a business is hire someone to do it because you don't know anything about it, so you don't know if they're doing a good job or not.
Yeah.
And also, it is one of the driving factors of your business. It is responsible single-handedly for bringing sales into your company. So if you're trying to outsource that, what are you good for in your own business? Yeah. So it's way too risky to not master that part of your business. I think the minimum, there's only 2 things you have to make sure you learn everything about in your business and you can outsource the rest. At the very least, you know everything about it and you understand it, is advertising and actual selling. Those 2 things you should not try to outsource until you have figured it out well. Because they're single-handedly responsible for the lifeline of your business.
Yeah.
Everything else, your content creation, your program development, your code, like all these things could be, taught. But how well my ads run and how well we close sales is responsible for us going bankrupt or not. You see what I'm saying? So I hope that was helpful.
Yeah. Awesome. Next question comes to us from Jay Kiani, I believe. Do I need a license certification to monetize as a coach?
No. Next question. What do you think? I mean, you getting certification?
I do. I am. So, my simplest answer is no.
Not to monetize.
Not to monetize. No, not by any means to monetize. If you want the certification, it really is a personal thing. That's like a personal decision. The same way whether you go to, and this is just my personal opinion, the same way whether you go to university to get a degree is a personal decision. But those certifications, those pieces of paper cannot necessarily stop you from being able to make money in the real world. If you have results, I think that's all that matters, right? Whatever you're coaching people on is a representation of things that you've gotten results with, things that you've done on your own. Those certifications and those educational lines of learning things are just to give you a framework. They're just to give you a little bit more tools to use. But ultimately, it's about what you have to bring to the table. So, yeah, my answer would also be
Do you know how many coaches I get in my program that I have to unlearn?
Everything they learned in the certification.
I'm serious. On one side, I want to say it can enhance your skills as a coach, 100%. They'll teach you questions to ask. They'll teach you how to host your coaching sessions. They'll educate you. It's like any form of education. Generally, you're learning about something. You're going to be better at it. Obviously, the person who's never done any training and coaching and the person who got training and coaching is going to know more what to do with the client. But that has no relation to making money in coaching. I just want to make this clear. It has a relation to you delivering good coaching. Because maybe the person who doesn't know what they're doing. I remember when I was guessing my way through coaching. Yeah. I was starting out and all I did was just try to passionately share what I learned from all these gurus. And it worked for me, so I had no idea what I was doing, but I made it all up.
Yeah.
So obviously the person who went to school for it or got a certification knows how to handle a situation. But here's the problem. Because they just teach, it's like school, right? Yeah. Going to a coaching school is the equivalent of going to school.
That's the same. That's why
it doesn't prepare you for a real world.
Yeah.
It actually kind of deceives your mind on what is actually going to happen when you go into the real world. I got coaches that book calls in my office that are thinking of coaching as a job. And that actually bothers me. I think, what do you mean? I'm looking for a coaching job. What does that even mean? I understand there are positions in companies where you can coach per hour. But why on earth would you get into coaching to get a job? The average salary of a coach is anywhere from $30,000 to $46,000 a year. I could equivalently make the same amount in a minimum wage job working in a grocery store. Why on earth would you get into an impact-driven skill set like coaching to just create a mediocre life? So the only objection we have is Armin, obviously I would love to do more, but I don't know how.
Yeah.
And that's the problem because we get so many coaches in our SGC program that we have to unlearn habits of because they come in and they start sounding like every other coach that is just looking at it as an hourly thing, a rate thing, sit down, ask you questions, and they don't know how to get clients because that doesn't sell. It does not sell. Do you know that's a therapy model? But you know why therapists have clients? Because they're in a model that gives them clients.
Yeah.
They get contracted, right? They're covered by health insurance in Canada, at least. They're covered.
Yeah.
People look at them as a medical solution. Coaching does not fall in that category, but coaches build a business like a therapist. They try to land hourly clients or sell packages of sessions.
Yeah.
Thinking, and they have no system, process, and result, nothing to guarantee the client. They just want to sit down because these schools are teaching them this to just ask questions and go through like a form of exercise with them to like maybe somehow something happens.
Yeah.
But that's a therapy model. Therapy model sits down. They're going to ask you questions. They're going to get you to come to conclusions. They can't give you any advice. They can't teach you anything. They're not allowed to. Therapists can't teach you anything. Coaches can't teach you. A great coach like a Tony Robbins, like a Brendan Burchard, like Robert Kiyosaki, these guys teach you how to think. They teach you what to do, and they coach you through it. They have a curriculum. They have a system. So my whole thing is like, it's really about becoming an expert coach, not just a coach, right? And a high-ticket coach is this way. High-ticket coaches can charge $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 because they combine coaching and teaching together. And so it's like they have to unlearn so many things when they come to my program, because I give them a curriculum on marketing and I show them how to get themselves out there, how to position themselves, and they go, I never thought about this. And now they're confused because the school told them to do something and completely clashes with what I'm saying. And I'm like, well, do you want to make money? Well, yeah, I do. Okay, great. So you have to keep the resources they gave you, keep the logistics of how to coach people to some degree with you, because I also teach that as well in my program. I believe I have a more effective way of doing it. But I'm like, you have to unlearn what you think about coaching so I can show you how to think about coaching that actually sells. So the question was, again, do you need a certification to make money? Hell no. Yeah. In fact, getting a certification might slow down the process of monetizing because you have to unlearn things. Mm-hmm. Or you might go into the wrong habits. You develop the wrong habits of coaching. You learn how to charge hourly rate for $100, $150. You start getting your reputation known as the person who's just the person. It's like a disposable session. And when you do that, you butcher your brand because you're not looked upon seriously anymore. No coach, no hourly coach is taken seriously. Nobody. You don't think of like the person, unless their brand is an expert, and then they still charge per hour, which is weird to me. Why would you do that? Really, the difference is this: if you want to have a coaching job, yes, get a certification. Yeah, that's my ultimate point of this. If you want to have a coaching business, do not get a certification. Don't. Because all of the habits and thinking and beliefs and philosophy behind coaching that they teach you in that school is completely contradictory towards an actual business in coaching. That's actually, when I think about it, I don't want to be so black and white, but actually is true. I've yet to meet someone that could use what they learned in the coaching, other than the skill of whatever coaching they're doing. Like if you earn health coaching or NLP coaching, you have tools you can use. Yeah. That I get. I still use a lot of methods myself. I learned. But the process of building your business has nothing to do with what they teach you. So, and you know how I know, by the way? Some of you might be like, well, Armin's biased. Oh, no, I'm not. My first year of business, I got no certification. We did $105,000 in sales because I just learned how to market myself, and I figured the coaching part out after. Yeah. Some of you are spending $13,000 to go into a school to figure out the coaching stuff and learn how to market yourself after. Yeah. Reverse. Because this is what makes your money. This is what provides for you in life. This does not. Mm-hmm. But guess what I did the next year? I bought a bunch of certification courses. I had the money. I'm like, whatever. Mm-hmm. I bought an NLP course, a coaching certification course, so how to actually coach, how to hold mastermind, facilitate masterminds, how to do NLP. I got all my certifications. I got like 5 in a whole week because I took like this accelerator program, and they taught me everything. I was sitting there, and I already had a business running. Mm-hmm. I was clear on what I like to do for people. Yep. And all this stuff is not only like level 1 like training material to me. I'm like, I already understand this. Yeah. Why am I here to learn this? But also the people I met there like had no idea that they have zero foundation to their coaching. And they think this is like now I can go do this. No. None of them did anything from the program I was in. Yeah. I know them. None of them did anything. And I remember I just walked out. All I paid thousands of dollars for is these certificates just to see if it makes a difference. Guess what, guys? I never once yet still bring up the fact that I have like 7 certifications. You probably didn't even know that watching this. If you've been watching for a while, you probably didn't know.
I knew that.
I had like 7 certifications. I think it was like 5 or 7 certifications in different things around coaching. Life coaching, NLP, mastermind facilitation, coaching the coach, training a trainer. Yeah. I have all these certifications on how to develop. Not once, not in my marketing, not in my funnel. Like nothing.
Sometimes if he goes on another event, we'll throw that in there.
I don't. No, screw that. I did it once. It didn't matter. No one cares. No one cares what kind of certifications you have. Nobody cares. You know what they care about? What are you going to do for them?
Absolutely.
They don't care.
Yeah.
You know how icky I feel when someone introduces me on a stage and they say like
your accolade.
Oh my God, I hate that. I don't know about you guys. When I hear someone go, Armin Chaffee is the CEO and founder of Reborn and is a certified this and a certified that and a certified, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh God, I don't even like myself anymore. Like, stop talking about me. God, like if I go, my next event after COVID's over, when I go, I'm literally going to tell them to say Armin Chaffee, CEO of this company. That's it. That's it. Creator of this program. That's it. Nothing else.
Yeah.
Or has helped X amount of people do this. That's it. I don't want you to know what I've learned. Like, it doesn't matter to you. No one cares. Nobody cares. Yeah. So, I don't know. That's just my opinion. But you don't need a certification to monetize. In fact, you know what's the smarter thing to do? Learn to monetize first. Then go get certified. Certification won't bring you clients, won't pay your bills. Marketing will. Learn marketing, then go. Because marketing will also help you get clear on what kind of coaching, what niche, what end result, what things are you going to do in this business. Then go get the proper certification for that thing.
Yeah.
That's my answer, at least.
Mm-hmm. I would also... No, go ahead, Isaiah.
I'm just going to tell you, before you jump into the next question, we have comments and questions.
Yeah, sure.
Questions.
Lauren?
Can somebody read them
out?
Oh,
you're not doing that?
I can read them.
Okay, no problem. Who else can? Or do you want it?
I can. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh, damn, we got a lot of comments.
Yeah,
okay.
Questions.
All right.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, guys. So Oscar says, I help entrepreneurs create a recurrent income online by creating an ad agency. How do I refine my marketing message if they have like different objections because entrepreneurs is an open niche? Let me read that again.
No, that's great.
You good?
No, I mean, that statement's great. You help entrepreneurs?
Yeah. I help entrepreneurs create a recurrent income online by creating an ad agency. How do I refine my marketing message if they have different objections because entrepreneurs is an open niche?
Go with it, man. Like, here's the thing, man. You can go two ways with marketing clarity, offer clarity. One is you can get super specific niche, and that works. But the problem is, if you don't have enough experience in the field, you're literally going to run in circles trying to think which one's going to be the best. Or you can start a little vague, go out there, offer a ton of free advice and coaching, get in the field, understand who's interested in somewhat of what you're saying. Based on that experience, based on that data, refine the marketing. So in my program, in the first module alone, when it goes into offer clarity, with like getting clear on what you do, we recommend tons of free coaching, tons of market research, tons of organic marketing to get questions answered from people, because you just want to really understand.
Yeah.
What are people looking for? What exactly can I do for them? And get inside the mind of your buyer. You know, it's a great exercise. I actually learned this from Russell Brunson's Traffic Secrets book. In the first 2 chapters, I'm like, I've never done this. It's crazy. We've done all this money in sales online and offline. I'm like, but I've never done this.
Yeah.
He simply says your buyer will buy for 2 reasons, either to run away from something or move towards something. I'm like, all right, I understand this, pain, pleasure versus okay, whatever.
Yep. But
then he says, here's a quick exercise. Why don't you sit down for a minute, write down a list of 10 things, thoughts, or beliefs that your ideal client is saying to themselves before you meet them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've never actually tried to get into the mind of my buyer. Getting into the mind of your buyer is a method now that I've understood. I'm going to put it in my new version of the module 2. And essentially, you just sit down and you start writing down all the things you think they're thinking. And it's actually quite interesting, because if you do it well, you can discover a lot of things you didn't think about to put in your marketing. I remember sitting down, I'm like, what is a beginner coach? Because I help beginner coaches, like coaches that I can help you scale as well. But majority of my programs filled with these coaches that have either certifications or are wanting to help people but have no idea how to start.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, cool. I'll accommodate. I'll help you guys out. And I'm like, what is a beginner coach thinking? I thought it's about, how do I get a client? I thought it's about, how do I make sure I'm clear on what I offer? But they don't think that at all. They don't think that at all. How do I know? I ask questions in groups. I ask my own students. I'm also helping my own clients. I'm looking at them like, what are you thinking about? I see what they're saying. And I realize, man, one of the number one thoughts a beginner coach is thinking is, am I qualified to be a coach? I'm like, oh, I have no marketing around if you're qualified.
Yeah.
I don't have a YouTube video on it. I don't have an ad on it. I don't have anything. I'm like, this is one of the most dominating thoughts of their mind.
Yeah.
Am I qualified to even be a coach yet? And I'm like, damn. Actually, as I'm speaking right now, Lauren, can you remind me? Make a YouTube video on it? So a criteria of how to know if you're qualified to be a coach. That's actually a great YouTube video. Damn. Free training coming soon. Because I'm like, man, I knew, I had a way of figuring out if I was qualified or not.
Yeah.
I had my own like criteria that qualified myself, right? The mixture of limiting beliefs, but it also, there is a thing. There is a process. You need to, I'm not saying everyone can be a coach. Hell no. I want everyone to pay attention. I am not saying you're allowed. But there is a criteria. And it isn't as hard as you think. It also isn't as high of a standard or threshold as you put on yourself.
Yeah.
But there is a criteria. There is a prerequisite. Or else everyone could just run around hell giving advice. No. So make a list, Oscar, this is a great exercise. Make a list of 10 to 20 thoughts, things that you think your ideal prospect will be saying. Now, see, now you got to get really clear on which entrepreneur then is it?
Yeah.
Where are they at in their journey? Why are they thinking this? And you make it all up in your head. You're like, what were you thinking? If you're your own client 5 steps behind, then you would know.
Yeah.
And I remember in the beginning for me even, I was like, how do I get in front of more people? Mm-hmm. That was my thought. So I thought that's what everyone thought. But no, because I had no confidence issues in my coaching.
Yep.
I had doubt, but I had faith. I had enough confidence in myself to just figure it out. Most coaches don't have that when they start. So I never connected to that pain point. Now I realize most coaches don't have that confidence. That stops them.
Yeah.
And even if they start, it stops them from continuing because they opt themselves out. They quit. They go, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know. And for me, I'm like, no, I never had that issue. I'm going to do this. But also, secret, I went through a transformational experience myself with a coach. I went to a Tony Robbins seminar, and he changed my life. How many times, if he had $1 for every time someone said that, he'd probably be a billionaire. I feel like everyone that thinks about Tony Robbins always say, he changed my life.
Yeah.
But he did, because he walked me through exercises in that Unleash the Power Within event that legitimately reframed and hypnotized my mind to think I can do this.
Yeah.
And by the way, that's the same thing I do not only in SGC, but it's the same thing I do in Reborn and my own coaching because it inspired me. I wanted to help others with it. My point is I never had a confidence issue, so I just went to straight, how do I get more people to see me? How do I do marketing? How do I do selling? How do I get clients? How do I make money with this? Yeah. I thought that's what everyone wants. No, man. Most people I realize are thinking like, how do I know if I'm qualified? Why would someone choose me over the next person? There's so much competition. How am I going to be any different? These are things they're thinking about. Yeah. So I made a list of all these things while I was reading Traffic Secrets. I'm like, damn, man, I feel like I know my buyer more. And that's a simple exercise I did. Shout out to Russell Brunson for putting too much value in his books. $7 book, man, too much value. So my point is this. Your statement's fine, man, but until you get in the field, you won't actually ever know. You will not know. So the worst thing you can do is to sit down and try to eat yourself alive, try to guess it all through.
Yeah.
Do action. The secret is action. Act now, plan later. Don't do the planning now. Act. Go out there and do a bunch of stuff. My first 3 coaching clients 4 years ago was my barber, a random chick in a meetups group, and a woman I met at Toastmasters. The most weirdest shit ever. That was my first 3 clients. And I didn't even know what the hell I was going to do. I'm just like, free session, 2-3 hours, let's do it. They go, okay. And I just went and I figured it out. And I went through it with them, and I was okay with failing because I didn't charge anything. It's a secret, right? I did it for free. So I had no pressure. But I figured myself out throughout the process. I figured out what they want. I figured out what I'm good at. I got data. I got experience. Build your muscle. Get practice. Then you'll refine it later. So it's a great statement. The statement's enough to get started. So just get started. The key is not to make the right decisions. It's to just make a decision and then make it right after.
His follow-up question is, but thoughts of starting an online biz because maybe they don't know nothing of an ad agency, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so target that in your marketing. Educate them on why an ad agency is better than other types of businesses. Also, go out there and ask questions, man. I call them launch conversations. Launch a conversation on your social media. Ask questions like, what do you think about, what's the first thing you think about before wanting to start a business? What's the main reason why you haven't started a business yet? If you went into any business, what kind of business would you start? Yeah. Why would you start that? And just launch conversations. That's what I teach my students. Everybody gets so much engagement on these kind of posts because everyone's interested in talking about themselves and what they think.
Yeah.
So you got to get out there and get more practice, man. You cannot listen, guys. You cannot figure shit out in your mind on your own. It doesn't work that way. Get out there, get experience, take the experience, and analyze that, and then make decisions. Act now, plan later.
Oscar, if you've got a follow-up, let us know, okay?
Yeah, man.
So we've also got Spencer with a comment.
Hey, Spence.
Hey, Spencer. He says, coaching is empowering others to be the guru. In brackets, he said, listen to me, I will tell you. And the facilitator lets the client discover it for themselves.
Yes, that is what coaching is in and of itself.
Yeah.
A great coach combines that with teaching their clients how to think. That is specifically my niche of coaching. I call that a high-ticket coach. High-ticket coach also suggests you to learn things. Yeah. I understand, like I said, the bad habits. If you want a job, think like this.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to facilitate a person's breakthrough. But if that's all you do, then you can only charge a few $100 an hour. If you become obsessed with the topic you're coaching on, you become an expert in it. You transform your own life and get results in it. Now you become an expert. Combine expertise with your coaching abilities. Combining together, you become a high-ticket coach. Charge 5, 10, 15, 20 grand. Because a person could actually get an end result with you if they work with you. Not just have you ask questions and facilitate breakthroughs. And in that case, you're fighting against the argument of why would I need you then if I could just, it's already inside of me. Mm-hmm. When I market, I don't tell them it's inside of them. It's not. I specifically say it's not inside of you. You need to learn.
Yeah.
This is different. That's the difference. My marketing is about teaching you something you don't know. And making sure, teaching you how to do the thing in the way that you don't know how to do it to succeed. Yeah. That's why I get a lot of book calls, because people are thinking, I don't know this. I don't position myself just as a coach. Mm-hmm. I'm an expert in the field. So if you want to charge a high ticket price and not get stuck in the mousetrap and the rat race of coaching, hourly coaching, you need to become a teacher in it as well. Teach and coach equals great coach. That's my formula. High ticket coaching is that. So no one's paying high ticket prices for a coach that just facilitates breakthroughs. Nobody.
Yeah, no.
You think Tony Robbins gets paid $1 million a year by a dozen people, billionaires, a year, and he only meets with them 3 times a year? You think the only thing he does is facilitate breakthroughs? Are you joking? I actually met someone in his team that told me his process. Believe it or not, he has a whole team of like 5 to 7 experts that study the hell out of the client for months and identify his pain motives, his positive motives, his value systems. They do everything. They build like a portfolio on this guy.
Wow.
And then they come to Tony and they give it to him on a platter and say, hey, this is your client that just paid you $1.3 million to meet you for 45 minutes 3 times a year. And he takes that and he studies that.
Wow.
And in the time he goes to see them for 45 minutes, he is specifically prepared a process, a combination of teaching them how to think differently to achieve the results they want, because if they thought the way they should, they would get the results they have, combined with exercises and processes that helps them overcome some of the old habits they have that are stopping them, based on factual, accurate information on the person that was spent months.
Wow.
That's why he charges $1 million a year. Some of you are like, I thought he just meets up with them and has coffee and like tells them to close their eyes and visualize and taste it. No! It is a science. He is a mental surgeon.
Yeah.
That's why he gets paid that. That is a combination of expertise in teaching and coaching. He doesn't just facilitate. He comes with a Bible for them on how they can have peak performance in their life. Legitimately gives them a manuscript of every single thing they need to do to optimally perform. I remember there's a story of him. I was in a seminar. He talked about this, that athletes pay him whatever, like a few $1 million to work with them. And there's a 2-year waiting list. And they have to put $250,000 down. Yeah. Just to be on the waiting list. And one time this athlete, I think it was who's the Olympic, Michael
Phelps.
Michael Phelps. I think it's the story of him. Don't quote me. But I remember hearing this in the seminar. He looked at me and he's like, why on earth would I pay you $250,000 just to wait 2 years to end up getting a session with you? And he goes, do you want to win the Olympics or not? And so this guy does it. And you know what happens? 2 years goes by. This is exactly the story I remember hearing. 2 years goes by. Yeah. He shows up in a 30-minute session that he paid $250,000 for, not $1 million. $250,000, that's the waiting list for $250,000. Because one session, I think, with him is $250,000. Okay? Now, guys, you ready? He shows up to the session. This guy's probably thinking, yo, I better get my money, man. Tony shows up and he says, hey, how's it going? They spend 10 minutes building a rapport. That's it. And then Michael goes, what the hell are we about to do? How are you going to help me win the Olympics? He goes, yeah, no problem. Pulls out of his bag, legitimately, a book that they made for him of exactly how to reach optimal performance based on him, his body, and how he is.
Wow.
And how every other Olympic athlete has ever won a medal.
Shut up.
So they built him a manual. And he gave it to him. He's like, just do this. Michael looks at him and goes, what is this? He goes, we studied every gold medalist in the last 20 years, and we broke down exactly what they did to get there. Do this and you'll win. That, my friend, is how you become high ticket coach.
Give us a couple of years, eh? Give us a couple of years. We're gonna do some crazy stuff like that.
Tony charges high ticket like that because he's a strategist, teacher, expert.
I love it.
You guys are thinking too small. Let me just sit down with the person, ask him a few questions. Pay me via PayPal. Put your credit card on file, $140 plus tax. You're thinking way too small. You must become obsessed with what you're coaching in. If you want to be huge in it, that's what I'm saying. Tony didn't need 30 minutes of his time. He didn't facilitate anything. That's it. Here's your manual. Go do this.
Huge.
And by the way, obviously the story, he
Yeah.
won multiple awards, right?
Obviously.
So, yeah, man. I hope that helps. What are the comments? You got the
They
comments?
said thank you. They both said thank you.
Okay, awesome. Any other comments? I saw some like long. I don't know if like
That was before. Just said thanks, so helpful.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, do you want to squeeze in another?
Yeah, what time is it?
12:57.
Well, we started like 10 minutes late, so yeah, sure.
All right, cool. So I'm actually gonna skip the next question, guys, with the question, and I'm gonna go straight to Monica's. So should I market myself more as an individual, so more influencer marketing, or my program, more product focused?
Influencer. Market yourself. Don't market your programs. Your programs are an extension of you. People follow you. They don't follow programs. You're not Coca-Cola. Don't build your company. Don't build your brand like a company. A lot of you make that mistake. You try to become this professional. No. The online world is about personality. People follow personalities. So make your audience fall in love with you, and they'll buy any program you have. That's the smart way to do it. It's a simple answer.
All right. You want more?
Yeah.
Let's put it in. Okay. Let's
I'm
go to
hungry. Give me
Daniel.
some questions.
Do you have any good Facebook ad hacks? How do I know my ads are doing well? That question is from Darnell Hansen.
Yeah, Darnell, are you making money? Then your ads are doing well. If you're not making money, your ads aren't doing well. Pretty simple.
Okay. Any hacks? Any Facebook ad hacks?
Yeah, the major hack is to learn how to actually do them properly. It's the major hack.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know how to do them properly, doing like a hack in your copywriting isn't going to change it. Yeah. There's a whole process to advertising, and so learn it properly. Like if you have to find the most expensive person on the market to teach you everything, do it because they'll make you millions of dollars. No other hacks. It's deceiving if I try to tell you like I think images work better than videos. I think if you have a question in the pattern interrupt, it works better than a statement. Like those are deceiving if I tell you that. It's going to make you run in circles. Because I'm showing you how to paint, what color to grab more attention on the wall of a house that's not built yet. See what I'm saying? So the major hack is properly learn how. If you do not know, if you don't know the A to Z of advertising, you don't have to know everything about it, but I'm saying you have to understand it fully. If you don't know the A to Z of how to run your own ads properly from start to finish, and you don't know if they're doing well, that means you need someone to teach you how to know. So I'm answering you this way. There's no way in hell in one hour show or in 10 minutes of me answering, I'm ever going to teach you everything you need to know about ads. So the major hack is go actually pay someone to learn exactly how to do all these ads. Okay, that's the biggest hack. I'll give you a tiny story. I hired a Facebook ad manager. This person's like, I manage $10,000 a day in ad spend for other companies. I'm like, wow, you must be good. And then she told me her fee. And I'm like, why are you charging so little? So I'm like, it's either you don't know your own value or you're actually not that good. I'm like, well, I'm willing to take a risk, small cost. Took a risk, and she got us opt-ins. She got us like hundreds of leads, but nobody booked calls. Targeting was off. The copy was uncompliant. The everything was just done like wrong. Now, maybe to her it was right. No offense to that. But based on my business model, they were done wrong. They also weren't compliant, which was shocking to me. Like, she would know that. She should know that, right? I didn't know, though, because I didn't know about my ads. Because I was trying to outsource it, because I'm like, oh, hopefully there's some type of thing I can shortcut it. And it costed me money, because I spent, I don't know how much money that month, maybe $3,500. We made no sales.
Yeah.
So then I told her, I'm like, look, I'm going to learn this on my own. And what I did was I went and learned from some of the best in the industry. Mm-hmm. And it was give me anxiety looking at a Facebook dashboard. That's how much I didn't know about it. So I would look at it, I'm like, oh my God, what the hell's going on here? What are all these numbers? So I'm like, man, I'm going to learn this. So I invested. I got some really good programs. And I started taking advantage of what I already had, like the knowledge, the education. I educated myself. It only took me 2 weekends. Spent 2 weekends learning everything, trying to really understand advertising, not just learn what to do on my dashboard. I'm like, what is a custom audience? What is a custom conversion? What is a pixel? What does it look like, audience? What is an ad campaign? What's an ad set? What's an ad? I'm like, I want to understand this stuff, man. I used analogies in my own brain. I was trying to teach my team. I'm like, so custom audience is like if you were to go on the street. A pixel is like if you were to go on the street and put a tracker on everyone's suit or on everyone's clothing, you follow them. You follow 100 people around. A pixel is like this. I'm like, a custom audience is me taking a portion of that 100 people that are specifically a certain thing, like have gone somewhere or they have similarities, and I put them in a group, and that's my custom audience of people from that pixel.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, and a lookalike audience is me taking these portion of people and then giving it to this magic AI machine that Facebook built, and they're going to go find 1 million people that look just like these 20 out of 100 people that I kept track of.
Yeah.
So now I have these strangers that are very similar to this custom audience that I...
Yeah.
So I was like trying to explain it, and I understood it. And I understood it so well that I'm like, okay, I get what to do.
Yeah.
So I wrote my first ad on my own. I did everything. I set it up, and bada bing, bada boom. That month we did $4,700 in ad spend. We made back $34,000. Make some money to invest into learning how to make money. Just saying. So yeah. Yeah, we can do one more question. What is it?
Oh, I think you're gonna like this one.
What is it?
What makes your team/program different than other offers out there? That's from Annalise.
Is there any real answer to this question?
I think so.
I mean, there are factors, like the fact that we assign personal coaches to you when you come to my program. You get a momentum coach and you get a marketing coach, personal, meaning one-to-one coaching, on top of my weekly group calls where I go over your strategy, and on top of my training. I know for a fact, and please someone challenge me this, I don't know anybody in the industry that assigns personal coaches to you when you join the program. So that's one thing I know. It works, but in a world where everything works, it's not like your difference is if this works and that doesn't. Every program works. We're all teaching the same form of philosophy of marketing, but we have our own way of doing it, and we have our own niche, and we have our own personality. I look at really at that level, we offer more value than anyone I know in the market. I know because I studied these markets. I work for some of these people, and I've also been in their programs, and I know what they offer. So I know for the best bang for buck, we give the most. That's what I know for a fact.
Yeah.
But on top of that, it's like you have to eventually not just make a decision on what's different about the program, but what's different about the person. Because I can tell you programs that all work, but the people behind them are hard to deal with. Their personalities don't really get you comfortable with learning and working with them. So when you're talking about getting a coach, I personally like to have fun. My program is filled with tons of laughter and fun. Our coaching calls start with music. We make a joke every 5 minutes. It is never a dull moment on Family Channel. It's never a dull moment. Case in point right there, by the way. It's never a dull moment in my program. So if someone...
And you're watching Disney Channel.
Folks, let's keep the work down, please. Thank you. Guys, we're rolling. Very quiet, please.
Man, that was some of my best work.
likes to have zero anxiety and stress while building a business and learning all the stuff that is difficult to learn while having fun, then I'm for them. That's what's different. If you want someone to yell at you and make you feel like a piece of shit, and that's your motivator, I'm not for you. Someone else should be. Actually, that part of
Sometimes.
My point is, though, there are people like that don't care about you, don't really care about anything. They're just like, you paid me, I'm going to give you the results, and leave me alone.
Yeah.
So, to some degree, variables, like deliverables, could be different from one person to another. One will give you this many calls, one will give you that many calls. I know nobody gives you one-to-one coaching for their price point. I know we do that. Maybe they'll know strategies that someone else doesn't, but then we'll have our own strategies. I know I give strategies in my program that no one else is teaching because I figured it out on my own.
Yeah.
Right? But it's like, it's not a matter of what makes it different. It's a matter of, do you want to get the results? And when you look at who's grabbing your attention more, okay? Work with that person.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. I've had calls booked in my office. Someone gets on the call, they're like, I was about to work with Sam Ovens. I was about to work with this person, that person, these big guy names in the industry. But before I could buy the program or before I booked my call, I saw your ad. I saw your video. I saw you this. And I'm like, man, I want to see what this guy has to offer. So I'm like, let me get this straight. You're about to work with probably one of the best in the industry, but he's in consulting, not in coaching. Let's say this guy does $20 million a year, teaches consulting. I teach coaching. There's obviously a main difference there. But I'm like, he's clearly far more ahead than me in the online world. But you booked to call me. How come? Man, I felt something when I saw your video. Great. Work with that person. If their ability to capture your attention is so good that you got on a phone, probably means what they do works.
Yeah.
So follow the brick road, okay? Right? Like, don't look at it as a shopper. You're not buying a pair of shoes. Follow your feeling. So if I get into someone's funnel and I end up booking a call, they did something right.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't care if somebody else has something more different. It doesn't matter to me anymore. You got me on a call. So what am I doing? Because I'm on a call, that means this worked. I want this guy to teach me or this girl to teach me how they got me on a call. So if you see my stuff and end up on a call with us, probably means you should work with us. It worked. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So that's how I look at it. But our main difference, our like USP would be that we offer personal coaches to each client. But in general, it doesn't really, like, you shouldn't make a buying decision based off what's different. Yeah. That doesn't matter. The question is, what do you need? And which program gives you that exactly in the way you want it? That's what you should be looking at. It doesn't matter if this one jacket is different than that jacket because the pockets here. And no. What do I need? I need a warm jacket. Well, this one's thinner than the other one. I should get the one that's not thinner. Yeah. Who cares if they're different? Which one's the most accurate one? The most relevant one to what I want to achieve my goal with. And which person do I connect with the most, right? Example, I had for 3 years, I'm 4 years in business now. We're going on to our 5th year in business, by the way, 2021. Out of my 4 years in business, 3 years of it was me teaching public speaking confidence in personal leadership, Reborn in ESSA. Yeah. I ran seminars in different countries around the world helping people with themselves. I rarely taught money. I taught some marketing here and there, but I wasn't the money guy. So my 4th year in business, I decided because of COVID and how everything went, I'm like, man, we're going to learn this online thing. We learned it. I'm like, let me show other coaches how to do this because they can get their message out there. Guess what happens? When somebody is a coach or life coach or health coach or anything other than a make money coach, guess what? I can connect you more than anyone else. I can connect you more than the consultant that only teaches marketing but never coached in his life. I can connect more than you and understand your situation more than the guy who only has ever built a business around how to make money. I build business around how to improve yourself in life. We sold $10,000 personal development offers. Tell me one person who does that. It's not Tony Robbins, Brendan Burchard, or these guys, right? Yeah. Or Bob Proctor. I started as a nobody, selling 10K personal growth offers on a stage. Okay, only Bob, I know, sells a 10K online program for personal development. Tony. Yeah. Right? So it's like if you got to find the person that understands where you're at more and is where you want to be. Have they been where you've been, or are they where you want to be? I know a lot of coaches that are life coaches, this coach, they're trying to help people. They fall into a program where the guy's only ever built a business. Yeah. How the hell do they know what you're going through? How did the person or the girl or the man know what it's like to be a life coach, to be a breakthrough coach, to be a dating coach, to be a health coach? They don't. So I know for a fact, like, if you're going to choose the right person, make sure they can relate to where you're at. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like, I paid a lot of money this year to learn from internet marketers. But when I go there, I know my expectation is only to learn internet marketing. I don't try to learn leadership from them. I don't try to learn how to run my company like them. I don't learn how to think like them because I don't care how they think. They don't know what I want. They're also not who I want to be. But I know they know how to do advertising. I know they know how to build a funnel. I know they know how to do email marketing. So I'm learning that from them. Yeah. But if your goal is to become a coach, make sure you find a guy or a girl that was a coach before teaching you how to build a business on coaching. That is one thing I know I'm proud of myself that I did. I spent the 3 years in the mud figuring this coaching thing out prior to me teaching people how to make money in coaching. And that's why I think it's more honorable than the guy or the girl who learned how to do marketing and chose coaches to teach it to. Well, how do you know what I'm going through? How are you going to answer my question about how my clients are getting a breakthrough? I got a whole training on how to perform breakthroughs with your clients in my program. Because I do it. So, anyways, that's my answer.
Awesome. Yeah, good questions today, guys. Good questions.
We have a comment from Oscar.
Oscar said, "That is happening to me, Armin. You rock. Loving your work and style so much."
Thanks, man. You should get an Oscar. I'm joking.
Oscar with the Oscar. Awesome, guys.
Want to end it off?
Good questions.
Yeah.
I love it.
So, are we going to end off?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Thank you for tuning in to Clear Talk. We go live every single Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time inside of the highticketcoachingcommunity.com group. If you got questions that you want answered on the next show, then go to askarmin.com right here on YouTube, okay? And go ahead and submit your question. I'm also going to send you really good, valuable emails about what I do and all that stuff so you can also get notified on how to grow your business. Also, if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and that little notification bell if you liked today's episode, and we'll get you more content on free trainings on growing your coaching business and on the Clear Talk show. Love you guys so much. I hope you guys will be on the next show so we can answer more questions. Stay cool and make the rest of your day the best of your day.